Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's career mode. This is episode 126. We're continuing on with the Giro d'Italia, and we're in the flat sector after a climb we just went over. I was conserving some energy, and there was a small split. We're not far behind, but it did include Karaman. So Karaman is a little bit off the back right now, and you can see that front group is trying really, really hard to keep the main group here at bay, presumably to keep Karaman and one or two other riders out of contact. But it is back together. But it's back together right before we begin the final sequencing of climbs, with a lot of damage done in the field, not just to Karaman, but kind of across the board. Front group, chase group, all of it suffered through that flat sector, as some top teams tried to do some damage, and they've certainly done some damage. Hardest climb of the day is right now. This is the last of what remains. It's a 10% gradient over 2.5 kilometers, just shy of 3, and we're going to hit the top on this one pretty soon. It's going to ease off for a little while, but there's still 3 more undulation periods, and it's after this little sequence that we're going to be looking to try to get ourselves in check for what's to come, upping the efforts, making sure we're all still here. And again, a little split right in front of me. Let's get Petrov. Where is Narbutas? Narbutas, try to get in between. Petrov, go ahead and lead a chase here, as again, this time it was Gandolfo who just suddenly sat up, and more riders coming to the front to take care of it. It's not as big of a group this time. In fact, quite a few riders are left behind permanently. So we've got 30 right there in the front group. We need to ride, obviously, for Karaman, but we're still okay in terms of how things are going. It's a shame that Karaman is struggling to climb when, he's our top climber. These guys are putting in 77 effort. He was putting in 82 effort, and yet they held position and he couldn't. It's weird how that works sometimes, but let's up the effort for those guys. Up the effort some more. Get to your climbing legs. Sift C. Now, see, Sift C was leading Karaman back in. I left him accidentally on this, and yet he couldn't do anything. They just cut the breakaway, and now there's 32 riders left up there, and Petrov doing that chasing. Has Narbutas gotten in position? He has. Let's go ahead and gel up for him. We have 28k to go. It's plenty of time to get back in this thing. And with this descent coming, Narbutas was not even following Petrov. I'm having some worrying trends at the moment in terms of how these guys are riding. And Karaman stopped following Narbutas. I mean, it's just one mistake after another at the moment. We do have some guys that are chasing, and we will sacrifice those guys to come back and help if necessary. For now, I want them to stay fresh to get Karaman up there, or once Karaman is up there. He's supposed to be following, and he's not, so good job there. Petrov has recovered a little bit. Let's get Petrov to try to protect. Will you pick that up? No. What if I put you on auto? Will you pick that up then? No. How about we get you back in the line? And Sift C. Okay, there you go. Sift C giving us a little chase there for a moment. And Narbutas needs to push a little bit harder. As we go into this climb, this is where we're going to make our big move to try to get back into this thing.
Things are heating up in front.
Alright, Narbutas is done. On to Petrov. And I do not see Karaman losing his wheel. Just having a bit of a nightmare of a day here for no quality reason. Okay, what is happening at the moment, though, is not what I want to see with these guys. You're 14th, you're 37th, you're 25th, and you're 20th. Let's go ahead and have Kikochi drop back and wait for this rider, please. Let those 3 guys remain patient. Martin Guerrero doing what Martin Guerrero does, which is not hold his position. If he gets dropped, we'll have him come back and help. Kikochi, meanwhile, is Karaman. Shoot. Needs to be pushing on his own here. And then wait for Kikochi. Can't believe we've lost this gap. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Petrov is apparently here. For the moment, Kochi now take it over, making the push. Just the one climb to go and 16k. We really need to start stepping up the chase here on this descent. Karaman's okay, and he's got support. And Kukovci there, Martin Guerrero and Riabovis were both dropped. Gonzalez Albiol hanging on up there. That means these two really need to come back, both of them, and wait for Karaman. And Kukovci going hard. Going hard. Come on.
Falling behind.
We're somehow over a minute behind. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now we have contact. Let's get in line. Get in line. That'll give Karaman a little bit of protection. And we are 7 chasing 21. Here's the check-in on those guys. They are into that final climb. And Gonzalez Albiol, push a little bit harder to stay in there. Gel up for Martin Guerrero. And we are going to chase like crazy to try to close this gap. Kukovci going 99. There's the back end of the group. Kukovci pushing hard. And let's go ahead and Bovis. How? Come on. Regain your contact. There you go. Okay, it's back together. On to Martin Guerrero. Kochi. Gonna get to the back, break off the rest of this group here. That's down to just us and Pierre Latour. And we're over the top. Somehow further behind than we were, even though that was a 99 effort. Karaman is tired. Group is split. There's actually even a further gap. Gonzalez Albiol held on to the chase group. $5K away. I need you to essentially sprint from here. Push as hard as you can, mister. Ryabova is again losing the wheel. Karaman losing the wheel a little bit there. And they're going to dig deep to try to chase down Martin Guerrero. With us is Gegenhardt, who sits 9th overall, and he's getting left behind.
Oh my, that's a spectacular
It's 2.4K. Martin Guerrero's out of energy, so Ryabovas is going to take over. Karaman is done. Gonzalez Albiol, that's all back together, and they are sprinting, so good thing we've caught that. But this is a minute 15 down. And Karaman, all we can do is try to get him to the end here, as he is out of energy. And just follow and sprint. And we are losing time today on a simple punchy stage that there was no reason for him to slide back. His effort was higher than his teammates. He climbed better than his teammates. He was in the same position as his teammates. And then all of a sudden, that was it. And that group at the front just kept on pushing. And even pulling teammates back. We never could close that gap. They kept on pushing. And Benyan Gourmet has won the stage, which is awesome. But he's no climber. He's not a climber. And yet we couldn't climb. Karaman is just so frustrating at times. How? I know that Martin Guerrero has had these types of issues in the past, and he was having this issue today as he was sliding back further than these other guys around him. But he's at least comparable to their level, so for him to lose a bike length makes a little more sense. But for Karaman, who had an 82 effort with other guys having 77 effort, to lose the wheel like that, to slide backwards like that, the only explanation that I can think of, because I was not looking directly at Karaman at the time that it happened, it was highly unexpected. And it was way, way too early. It was before we even launched the stage. It was as we were going through this section here, right? And we never even pulled it back. Is that No, we just got back on here, but he was in that chase group and he never came forward. The losing contact here made no sense. No sense at all. And the only explanation I can think of is he was caught behind a rider who was going slow on a road that's not that wide, and that rider going backwards forced him to go backwards, and then the split happened in front of that, or even that rider that was slowing him up is where the split occurred. And he had a couple teammates around, but that was all. But that's devastating how that just happened, and really frustrating. Absolutely, part of that's on me for not watching way back then. But who would expect that? Who would expect that? And I'm the first one to admit that, hey, we're on episode 126 and we are 5 weeks away from the launch of PCM22. Now, that doesn't mean I'm on the back foot, don't care anymore. What that means is I am trying to get to the end of the season in the next 5 weeks, real time. And it's only the Giro. So we have the Giro, we have the Tour, we have the Vuelta, we have the World Championships, we have national championships, we have a couple of monuments left. We have a lot of racing to do in a short amount of time. So admittedly, I am trying to go fast to make things happen. Admittedly, I am busy in IRL as well, and I have to leave in 20 minutes for track practice, and I've got to get at least one more stage in here. I was hoping to do 2 more stages, but it looks like after this result here that I'm not going to have that kind of time. I was going to quickly move through the stage. Multiple factors, and I'm absolutely one of them. That's what I'm trying to say here. But still odd that guys that are significantly weaker climbers than him on less effort held their position just fine, and he did not. And boy, oh boy, did that just cost us big time. Gonzalez Albiol lost time as well. He was 27 seconds down. Riabovas and Karaman were a minute 40 behind. With that, we slipped back down the order to 8th place at 4:02, behind McNulty, Foss, Hagita. Frustrating. But it is what it is. We left Gegenhardt behind. What was his gap? He came in with Martin Guerrero just 20 seconds off. We dusted him well before the finish line, and that's all we gained over him. Karaman didn't have much left in the tank at that point. Latour is another one who we left behind on the way up. If I didn't have bad luck, I would have no luck at all. What is up with monumental, oddball things happening in Grand Tours with our team here recently since the time that we won with Berlikov? That one was fantastic, and that was a hard-earned victory, and I was so proud of that one. But since then, we have had nothing but bad luck in our 3 total Grand Tours since then. Following that stage, Karaman not feeling well. Now, this should be following that stage, but it's announced on the same day. So, is this the explanation? Is this why Karaman just struggled where everybody else seemed to do just fine? He got sick in the middle of the stage, and we got the email immediately after. I haven't progressed to the next day. This is just exiting the stage. He's done this to us before, of course. He withdrew from a podium position in last year's Giro with, 3 stages left to go? Stage 12, plenty of undulation, but a big flat finish. So it's going to be hard to really have a proper small group finish under these circumstances. I was strongly considering sending a rider out into the breakaway to catch up to later, and I'm still half tempted to do that. But then I saw this. Karaman, Mr. Ill, Mr. I'm a terrible Grand Tour rider. Yeah, but is our leader. He's got the best mountain rating. He's got the best time trial rating. He's got the highest recovery, and he's among the best in stamina resistance. He's our guy. There is no comparable rider. There is no one near as good as him. But he's just not good enough. But anyway, and then he just keeps getting sick in the middle of these Grand Tours. I don't know what is going on with this rider in the coding, or just the game has some sort of cruel joke that it likes to play on me this year. Whatever it is, we are going to go for it today somehow. I'm not sure when, but I'm going to keep the team nice and fresh for now, all of them, and then we're going to start burning through riders to be aggressive, because Karaman has a +5, and I would love to see this field thin out massively. The only downside, though, is once we've done it, when I'm the one behind, the AI is going to push like crazy, like they did on the last stage. And my oh my, did they push like crazy on a stage that didn't look too tough at all. And it seems like it was because our man was sick. Here,
a rider has taken a tumble.
If I push and split the field, nobody's going to work with me. We've seen that happen 1,000 times before. But here's to hoping that today, fingers crossed, today's different. Today's the day where I can get it down to 10 riders, 15 riders or something, and have 1 or 2 contenders off the back and make something happen. I doubt it, but we'll try. Might as well. Karaman's got the +5 today, and with this whole feeling ill thing, make hay while the sun shines, right? 154k to go. I'm not going to do anything over these first 3 climbs. Cat 4, Cat 3, Cat 3. No worries on those. The following Cat 2 seems a bit premature to start doing something there. I might start it on the climb after that. Kind of hit that halfway point after that sprint point and get things rolling at that point. So for now, cruise along. Everybody's sitting on a 70. I don't want them digging deep. We're going to go just a hair harder. Keep an eye on the water, which we obviously need to get. Sifsy is going to go for that here momentarily, but I'm trying to get us to within 120 on the distance, so we're not having to, do this more than one more time the rest of the way. So Sifsy onto that task.
Falling behind! A team leader is falling behind! A fall has just happened in the Peloton.
Salzabiel back on his bike. Otto. Hopefully he'll get back up there soon. That's another reason to now wait, to hesitate. Who's he back there with? Drisners. No idea who wiped out who as we were speeding through that. Salzabiel has water at least.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams
And
can't
Sifsy's
be
right
happy
there,
with the
but
breakaway.
did
There's
not
a
make his
faller
way
in
through the
pack.
group.
A rider is
Now
flat on the
inside
road.
that 120 mark, but hopefully nobody decides that they want to go back and get water. And Sifsy's not even making an effort to go forward. He had a gap. He had space. Finally he's coming through. Taking care of business. Okay, and Gonzalez Albiol is coming back. Making his way through the field. Let's wait for him to get up there. So we're back at full strength. He is a little fatigued. Like I said, I didn't necessarily want to do it through this area anyway, as this portion that we're into now is a bit too easy. But once you get partway up this category 3, it's going to get hard for back-to-back-to-back sectors, and then it eases off a bit towards the finish. It's going to make it hard to do something on the day.
Fall in the pack.
What is going on? Now, we get the +5, right? And that's nice. We get the +5 for Karaman. Overall race day condition looks good. The expected is a +11 for the entire team. And we've got that. A little bit more than that. So it's a good draw. But 2 crashes? There's only been 2 crashes. We've been involved in both.
Just thrown in the towel.
Vandenberg, the guy that crashed with Petrov, is out of the race. And Petrov has not made his way back on. Really? He was barely off the back. Okay, change plans momentarily anyway. Let's get on with this task. Gonzalez Albiol. You know, do not drift backwards. Martin Guerrero has drifted backwards, of course. Where Sift C was holding position just fine at the front. Here's how Sift C climbs. 67. Today a 69. Martin Guerrero, a 79. 10 points difference. And Martin Guerrero was way back here and Sift C was up there. So typical. So typical. Petrov, back into the group. Making his way through. And Gonzalez Albiol is finally getting back up into position as well.
Team managers mustn't
I'm going to wait until the Category 2 to make some sort of move.
It's survival of the fittest, and evolution doesn't seem to favor those in the rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
Odd things happening here. Pace is picking up, so the effort's got to go up with it too. Grauman this time holding position just fine with less effort than most of his teammates. Petrov needs to go forward a little bit harder again. He's struggling to get through on this skinny road. We could very well see a split. The day that I was hoping for is really not coming to fruition at the moment, as guys are struggling after these 2 crashes in particular. Both of those 2 guys are fatigued. Martin Guerrero keeps falling backwards.
There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
So that's 3 guys struggling along. In fact, all 3 have just been split off, at least for the time being.
One of the motorcyclists says that a rider is down. Apparently, he didn't interfere
Them
with the
on
race.
auto. They are well off the back at the moment. And these guys are all just fine, mostly keeping their position. Kikovchi fell back slightly. Sifsi, little fatigued, protecting Grauman. 50 in the group, and we're actually looking good on that front on having guys here. These guys are a little too far back. Martin Guerrero sits 17th overall. Gonzalez Albiol sits 16th overall. Their top 20 is going to fade here.
Don't have anybody in the breakaway group.
Bad day in the saddle for this team. Of course, it is pouring down rain, but again, there's only been 2 crashes, and we were involved in both. So we did have an ounce of good luck, at least. One good thing happened. Okay, these guys are 2 minutes behind. Too far back. There's even a whole group in between them, and you really don't want to bring back 90 riders just for the sake of having 2 guys that are already fatigued from chasing after crashing, plus Martin Guerrero, who's the worst climber for his rating that we've seen in ages, right? Guy who always goes backwards instead of forwards. So I think we're in for just trying to survive the day. No reason to make life hard on our 3 guys. Let's see what materializes, if there's a chance to go for something on that final climb. For now, let's just hang on to it. For now, it's back together. Gap closed. Petrov, Gonzalez Albiol, nearly out of energy. Martin Guerrero, going to get water. It is that last time we need to get it. He's in a good place for it, so not a bad idea. AI actually did something good for a change.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't be happy with the breakaway. Puncture for a rider.
It's all Salvial. Petrov right at the back of the group, just 80 in the Peloton. Petrov's not going to be here much longer. Looks like he's about to slip off. In fact, looks like there's a good 20 riders at the back that could experience a split the moment we go uphill here in just a moment. Right behind Gonzalez Albiol, really. And him included shortly after. Could bring us down to about 50 riders. 85 and we're blinking red, so EF turning the screw. Martin Guerrero is right there, but still never finished water. Sifsy is fading. I thought he was going back to get water. Martin Guerrero has completed.
No. Mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
Be on your teammate here. Fail me now. He can't get beyond Karaman. The road is so skiddy for one thing. Use the outside. There you go. Plenty of space. Hey, he did it right at the top. Sifsy at the back end, and he is dropped. These guys might actually regain contact. They are so close. 55 riders, and it's definitely stretched thin at the back end. I'd say we've got probably 40 riders that are ready to ride on hard and continue on into that final climb. Whether that's enough to actually do something about timings, probably not. But we've got that Category 3 coming up, and we might as well make some sort of effort, because now I do have the numbers in place. I got 5 guys here to try to make something happen on that final climb. Go hard from the very beginning of it. We're all right at the front. 9.5K to go to the top. Speed it up just for a moment here, and then let's set it up. Sifsy is back. There's Martin Guerrero. There's Sifsy. I think they're in position to really do something. So let's do this. I'm gonna have these two come up on the back of Karaman, and then are we in the order we want right there? Barbutas, very punchy, very climby. Kikochi even better, and then Riabovis. Yeah, those guys are looking pretty good today, aren't they? Alright, 93. That'll get us going out and going hard and stretching this thing real early. 6K to the top. Overall, the climb is 4.6K, so we're pushing for 1K beforehand, and we're just about to reel in 2 riders from the breakaway. Last 4 have a shot at winning the stage. Riabovis, good thing they didn't cut us off. Those Cofidis riders were going pretty dang hard. Riabovis, let's go harder. How are we doing on positioning? Everybody's where we want them to be, right near the front. And we're going to go on to Narbutas now. Riabovis is going to go to the back end, except for we're going to let him slot in behind Riabovis, because Sifsy's already fading. Or Martin Guerrero, that is. And look at those front 4. Came back at them pretty hard, pretty fast. 30K. Split off some riders here, but it looks like it's not going to be enough to do anything useful. You never know. Gotta keep an eye on these guys, kind of see where we slot in at.
The pack is slowly whittling away the lead.
Yeah, Martin Guerrero's going to fall off
there's
now.
An attack from inside the breakaway group.
Him fade away. Sifsy's gone. Put those 2 on auto. The splitting of the field does continue. Yo-yoing a little bit, but we've got it down to about 30. And we've caught the front end.
Watch out, a team leader is falling behind.
25k, but with plenty of it being downhill. Kochi, yeah, his position doesn't matter. Keep pushing. These guys will recover a little bit at the back. Kramen's doing just fine, so I'm not worried about him. And with it being a gradual descent, hopefully there's no crashes along it. It would be our kind of luck to be the only one to crash. We are at the front end of the field and pushing. Everybody else is following behind. It does tend to be a little easier following behind. And we come up on the base. 17k to go. And Kukovci is just about done.
The finish line is getting close. The riders have just passed the 15 kilometers road sign.
And
there's a collective fall with several riders on the ground. We can only hope that they all get back up.
Come forward. 35 riders, and we are opening those gaps behind. So we're going to start switching the order here. Rebovis going first now. Narbutas. But with 14k, we can only go so hard, right? Most of these guys look like they're doing just fine. I don't think we're going to split too many more off. Well, definitely not with Rebovis already done. And Fellini is trying to attack. So we've just opened the doorway for others to make a move. At a Schelling. And they have escaped, amazingly enough. We push at a 94 for a while. We pushed it at 99 for a while. And yet, you can see there's plenty of energy for some of these guys. But Kramen also has a +5 race day condition. How many riders do you expect to have a +5 race day condition right now? Not too many. And yet nobody's been dropped from the group. Just 2 riders escaping off the front. And Narbutas, now he's done. So Karamen's going to have to sit up and just go with any moves that come.
5 kilometers to the finish line. Attack with the finishing line within reach.
They just sat up. Can we attack and get off the front and go clear with 4k to go? Bagioli is with me. Continuing to push. Nope, it's back together. 2.4k. And we have gone off the front. Gourmet, Bagioli, Stuyven continuing to attack towards the finish line. 5 guys clear. Pogacar has joined us as he attacked off the front. I don't have the red bar left to continue on, but can we get a little separation over the field? Gourmet has won another stage. He's looking so good. Here comes the Peloton. No gain. No gain. 3 guys managed to get a gain, and we do not. We tried to do something, but here's the thing. There's only 32 riders left at the front. 3 riders right there at the back, including 2 of my guys. But there's some separation. Here's to hoping that somebody, a contender, was dropped. That's all you can hope for at this stage with how poorly things have gone for us here recently. The season was going so well, and then we hit the Grand Tours, which are supposed to be our strength, our area of strength, and yeah, odd. Three tours in a row from winning the year before and then having a decent tour, and then we come into the next year's Giro, we're right there at a podium place looking great, and then Kramen gets backache. That's what it was. Kramen gets a backache. We have not had too many good moments since then in our last 1 full and 2 partial Grand Tours. Twelfth on the stage, 20 seconds behind. Those guys do gain a gap, and the gaps behind exist. Fellini, Maurice, Conchi. Does anybody lose time? Not the contenders. We are 8th place still. All the guys up front are still the same guys up front. Right above us, Martin Guerrero, 17th, 18th. 10 minutes to Michael Matthews. Strange race so far, and we're definitely not in the position we want to be in after, losing almost 2 minutes on the stage that Karaman just felt ill on. It's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.